Hello, it is November 17th, 2015, and as you may know, I have shifted my attention away from channeling the voice of spirit over the last year or so, using my gifts and the ability to live in oneness in order to support others in a very natural and mainstream way, where the bringing the voice through me may be considered a little less mainstream for some people. This morning, I was informed by the being we know as Isis that she would like to reclaim her voice, as much attention for that word, for the name Isis, has gone in a very destructive way in our world and is now infused with fear. So I'm turning myself over today and perhaps on a regular basis now for Isis and those who desire to speak through me to do this once again in order to reach those of you who wish to receive these messages from this form of communication. So I surrender myself now with an opening prayer. Dear God, Goddess, Creator of all that is, Alpha, Omega, Enchanted One, Solara, Isis and Ra, Magdalene and Yezu, two feathers, all of the ascended master beings and angelic hosts who are here with us, we give thanks. We completely surrender now into the vibration of all that is, drawing forth from this reflection those vibrations that are here to guide, support, and harmonize us in this moment, and we give thanks. I expand my attention now to include the divine feminine energy that I know as Isis, that she may speak through me in one voice. I come to you today with a strong voice of love. Some say a fierce voice of love. I have been known to be the goddess of fierce love, strong in my conviction of love and understanding, passionately compassionate, and yet the sayer of truth. I give thanks to this vessel, the one that you know as Sheila, for expanding her energy to include me. For that is all that she is doing. And in any moment we can all expand our attention to include more than what we know ourselves to be in this single moment. And it is time now that all of us expand our attention and see and feel and live more than we have been. I spoke perhaps a year ago about my name and the Isis energy that is rising up in this world through those who believe that fear and violence is moving through as a voice of God. It is true that all energy is of God. God is one, the universal energy of all that is. So we cannot say that these beings are outside of God. They play a crucial role in the evolution of our world. And I am going to poke you now as I say to you that they mirror for each one of us that aspect of dark conviction, anger, fear, polarity that is in every being on earth. It is in you. You are triggered by this energy by this storyline, not only because you understand the sadness of grief and you can feel empathy for those who lose loved ones, but because there is a part of you that you do not want to look at, that is equally as angry, that is ready to use violence as a way of making a change, that does not want to see that all of us, all of you, all of us are working for the same goal by different means. But if you combat violence with violence, war with war, anger with anger, you are as much a part of this storyline as those which you would deem separate than you. So today is the day to reclaim all of who you are. Do not just align with your sadness and your compassion. Do not blindly accept anger at something outside of you. Turn inward. Be fierce in the love of yourself. Be willing to admit that within you are the same dark energies that you see witnessed outside of you, and that scares you. Because that is your greatest fear. That is the greatest fear of every human being. And as long as we make others separate than us, as long as we take that aspect of our being and set it outside of us onto someone who is a different color, a different shape, a different ethnicity, a different part of the world, a different part of the neighborhood, a different socioeconomic status, no matter what it is that you use to divide yourself from that person to make yourself feel safe and better about yourself. It is time to move past that now. So I call you to fierce love of yourself. Go inward. Allow yourself. Give yourself the freedom wrapped in the love and grace that I provide for you. That the ascended beings that you trust and know provide for you. That the angelic realm provide for you. That all that is oneness and love provides for you. Let us wrap you now as you take a moment to acknowledge those aspects inside of yourself and fill them with love. Experience them, know them, admit them, allow their voice. Listen to their voice and see if there is anything that you can learn from it. And then allow the love to pour inward. For once love pours into any frequency, it harmonizes, expands, and remembers. And when you can love those aspects of yourself that you most want to hide, to push off, and to put on to someone else, then you can truly love. And some people are speaking up that love is the answer. And that we must love these people. And it is true. The only way for us to move past this or any storyline of war that we have had since the beginning of time is to find ourselves within the enemy, to love that aspect of ourself inside of us so that we may have compassion and no longer fear. They are only a threat to us when we are hiding from ourselves. But when we know ourselves and we know the fierceness of our love penetrates even the darkest aspect of our being, we do not fear. We do not fear death. We do not fear war. We do not fear terrorism. We simply do not fear. And in that space, we truly can love those that we have called enemies. And there is no reason to call anyone an enemy. We may not like the tasks that they choose, but we know that they are capable, just like we are capable, of any task on earth. And in that space, we see the small children who were raised in fear because the world was pouring fear onto them. And we love them. We see the teenager moving and trying to be like the adults in their life. uncertain, finding evidence all the time that the world is not safe because it is not safe to them, justifying their actions because of their experience, which is evidence to them that the preachings are true. And those older ones who have lived a hard and sad life and just want love, God, peace, and unity. Do you understand that even those seeking the apocalypse are seeking the light afterwards, seeking the love and union with the God that they know? But there is only one God, and it is fair for all of us. We have a choice on earth, and we have chosen to move forward through love. We have passed through the old storyline of apocalypse, of destruction, as the gateway to remembering our love of God. That story has been told over and over. But those ancient ones that are holding that story for us now give us the opportunity to look within and choose a different story. I will speak again soon, but for today I ask that you follow the task that I offer you, for it is not an easy task, but it is the way to the path you choose. And so it is. I give thanks to the voice of Isis, the true voice of Isis that has spoken through me today, and I ask that her love penetrate to all those in the world, that together we can remember we are seeking the same love, and it is enough for all of us.